Intelligence reveals itself through small daily choices. Most people assume intelligence shows up in obvious places. Test scores, degrees, big achievements. But psychology paints a quieter picture. Your brain reveals itself in the tiny habits you repeat every day, especially the ones you never question. Take superstition, wearing lucky socks, avoiding certain numbers, believing colors or rituals influence outcomes. It feels playful, almost harmless. But what's really happening is your brain confusing coincidence for cause. One good experience creates a false link, and instead of checking evidence, the mind locks onto the story. Over time, logic takes a back seat and belief starts driving decisions. Intelligent thinking pauses and asks, is this actually connected? Magical thinking skips that step entirely. Then there's sleep, or rather the lack of it. Modern culture loves to glorify exhaustion, late nights, early mornings. I'll sleep when I'm done, but neuroscience is blunt here. Without proper rest, attention drops, memory weakens, and decision-making slows dramatically. After severe sleep loss, your brain functions similarly to someone under the influence. People who protect their sleep aren't lazy. They're protecting the tool that does the thinking. Silence is another giveaway. Some people can't stand being alone with their thoughts. The moment things go quiet, a screen appears. Music plays, noise fills the space. But solitude is where thinking happens. Reflection, planning, problem solving. When someone constantly avoids silence, it often means their mind struggles when stimulation disappears. Intelligent minds don't fear quiet. They use it. Conversation habits matter too. Small talk has its place, but when every interaction stays on the surface, something's missing. Talking endlessly about weather and routines without ever drifting into ideas. Questions or curiosity often signals low cognitive engagement. Psychologists call this a low need for cognition. Not enjoying effortful thought. Deeper conversations aren't about sounding smart. They're about wanting to understand more. Confidence can also be misleading. The loudest voice in the room often knows the least. Interrupting. Over-explaining. Speaking with certainty on shaky ground. Psychology has a name for this pattern. The Dunning-Kruger effect. When knowledge is shallow, self-doubt doesn't kick in. Truly capable thinkers do the opposite. They ask questions. They hesitate. They stay curious. Rigid rule-following shows up in surprising ways. Instructions are useful, but reality doesn't always cooperate. When someone follows a guide even when it clearly isn't working, refusing to adapt, that's not discipline. It's mental inflexibility. Intelligent thinking adjusts when new information appears. It treats rules as tools, not replacements for judgment. The same rigidity fuels conspiracy thinking. Simple stories feel comforting when the world is complex. Big hidden causes, secret villains, easy explanations. But these beliefs thrive on avoiding verification. Smarter minds slow down, cross-check, and tolerate uncertainty. Shortcut thinking prefers excitement over accuracy. Then there's instant gratification, constant snacking, endless scrolling, impulse spending. The brain gets trained to chase quick rewards instead of long-term gains. Studies on delayed gratification consistently show that patience predicts better outcomes across education, health, and finances. Intelligence isn't about wanting less. It's about waiting longer. Listening habits matter more than people think. Interrupting. Zoning out. Waiting to speak instead of processing what's said. Listening is active cognition. It requires holding ideas, comparing perspectives, and updating understanding. Poor listening often reflects weak comprehension, not confidence. And finally, trend following without reflection. Changing opinions, styles, and identities based solely on what's popular. That's herd behavior. It feels safe, but it avoids the work of deciding for yourself. Intelligent thinking asks, does this make sense for me? Before copying the crowd. Here's the real takeaway. Intelligence isn't fixed. These habits don't just reveal thinking patterns. They reinforce them. Repeated daily, they slowly train the brain toward either sharper reasoning or mental autopilot. Awareness alone creates change. The moment you start questioning your own habits, your thinking is already improving.